I wasn't intending on being funny, Caroline. I'm cross. So it's lovely to see everybody here. It's really very encouraging, although there's no trans activists. I know. They never. You're doing your pelvic floor exercises. The only reason I came was to try and see a lady willy, but oh well. So you know the question that was posed by Monty Python, where's the fetus going to gestate, Loretta? Are you going to keep it in a box? We're nearing getting an answer to Stan's question. My concern about this, I know it's been spoken about, is that the medical ethics around these operations that are being done is baffling to me. I think it's a complete absence and a dereliction of the duties of the Royal Colleges. I am not convinced that doing a uterus transplant into a woman is ethical. I think that from a feminist point of view, what we're saying is that women's function is to have babies, and that individual woman is not fulfilling her role in life unless she is a mother. All they have done is implant a uterus into her. That doesn't mean that she can get pregnant. She now needs to go through IVF, which is not always successful, and the chances of her being able to carry an infant to term is really slim. And I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if maybe it would be better to support a woman who's got infertility to make peace with what her body is. She does not have a uterus. So why is it nicer and kinder to put her through a serious operation that takes a lot to recover from for the sense of a possibility, a hope, an off chance? And her sister, who has donated her uterus. Her sister has had a hysterectomy at the age of under 40, which is known to be linked with increases your risk of getting dementia later in life. It increases your risk of having vaginal prolapse. Why is that ethical? The pressure that's put on women that are altruistic surrogates, that are altruistically donating uteruses now to their family to make their sister happy, I think that this is something that the medical ethics really need to be examining very, very carefully. And because this procedure has been done through a charity, it seems to have been absent. They just haven't bothered. It would be, the worry obviously is that this is going to be used by male people in order to indulge their fetishistic approach to what women are. And we do know that a lot of men, that male people that identify as women, it's because they're fetishizing our bodies. And for them as well, there's an ethical issue, because fetishistic syndrome is a thing. People's sexual proclivities can become so compelling that they cannot stop, and they make decisions that put them at risk of committing crimes to, against individuals and also against society. What I'm concerned about, though, is you don't need to implant a uterus into a man in order for him to be able to sustain a pregnancy. I don't know where this is going. An ectopic pregnancy is when the fertilised egg implants somewhere other than a uterus. And usually in a woman, it's in a fallopian tube, because the egg's spat out from your ovary and there's a little gap, and the end of your fallopian tube's got wee feathery bits, and it scoops up the egg, and then hopefully it makes its way into your uterus before it's fertilised. But there are cases where women have been pregnant with fetuses that are developing in their abdominal cavity, because that wee gap got missed. So the fertilised egg has landed up there, and if it's attached to her liver, then the placenta grows on the liver. And there are cases where healthy infants have been delivered in this situation, usually in developing countries where they don't have decent maternal care. So all you would need to do, and all there are rumours of what's going on in China, is have a male person who is desperate to be pregnant for reasons unclear. And I would say the best care pathway for that individual is down the psychiatric route. But instead of which, we're just going with it because this person must have whatever he wants. Then you could implant a fertilised egg into his abdominal cavity, give him the correct hormones, and he could sustain a pregnancy for a period of time. Now, thinking about how fetishistic behaviour manifests itself, usually what that person would be seeking is, for instance, an ultrasound photograph, so that then he has something to fuel his sexual erotic desires and get status amongst the other people who share the same fetish. So when you see images of male people saying that they're breastfeeding an infant, it is something that frankly just gives you the bloke, because it's such an offence to what happens with motherhood. But I don't believe that that person is actually putting the baby at a particular risk, you know, that the baby's going to be malnourished, because he's only going to do it 2 or 3 times so he can get a photograph, because it's a sexually motivated thing. I don't believe any man is going to put up with what women put up with to get pregnant and breastfeed a baby. Ever. It's no easy. You have to be a bit, you know, hormone addled to tolerate it. So my worry with this is that there's the aim of it is to move the Overton window, so that we just link being female, being pregnant with just you copy and paste a uterus and anybody can do it. But there's something else going on that makes me very, very uncomfortable. And we need to talk a lot more about the male capacity for sexual deviancy. And I say that as a heterosexual woman. You know, you can't say it out loud without sounding like you hate men. But men know this. Men understand what their sex class can be like. And it's an important thing to discuss, but it seems to be missing from the uterus transplant thing. So, no funny, huh? No.
Tell us a joke.
Tell us a joke. I don't know. Maybe we should do some pelvic floor clenching, because it makes my teeth clench a bit, the thought of it. So thank you for organising this as well. It's brilliant to see. Thanks very much.